Hey everyone, this is John from Snap-on John 100s, and I am going to be going over some fire pistons that I have recently purchased, and just to see what the pros and cons are of them. I was going to do 4, but I'm only going to do 3. I was having trouble with one of them, and I have to contact a vendor to see what's up with it. Anyway, the first one I'm going to go over is the Nemeth Vulcan fire piston. It is one that you can get from goinggear.com, and in fact it was designed by the owner of goinggear.com, and they all the pistons, fire pistons, come with extra O-rings. Some of them come with lubricant as well, and some of them come with a little bag of char cloth. This one came with a little container of silicone grease. It was a tiny micro dot in the very bottom of this thing, so I added some silicone grease to it so it's filled up. I think that was just to indicate that you don't want very much on there. This one is made out of aircraft grade aluminum, and it's made on a CNC, so it's very precisely made, and all the threads are square cut so that they last a lot longer. And this one's got what I like about this one, it actually has, let's see if I can get up there, it's got a notch, but the thing that's nice about the notch is the end was drilled first and then cut off to form the notch, so you actually have a gripping surface instead of just a square cut notch. It's circular, so the sides come up, so it actually grips the char cloth better. And this also has 2 nylon O-rings. Okay, so it's got a really good seal. Okay, and the nice thing about one of the nice features about this one is, and I guess somebody else was calling them second generations, you can't store a fire piston because because of the friction, you can't compress it. This one, you just loosen the end and then tighten it back up, and then the same suction holds it in. Okay, so you can store it like this. The neat thing about this type is this comes off. It's got another nylon O-ring. This part comes off, and now you can clean the inside out. So you can run a paper towel or a rag or gun cleaning swab down that and clean that out. So that's a really nice feature. It's also covered with knurling, so you got a really good grip. Really nice knurling on top and bottom. This large end has an O-ring seal, and it's basically just to keep water out, but it's a compartment for storing extra char cloth. Okay, so that is another nice feature of this one. Okay, so I'm going to put this back together. Once again, this is a Nemeth Vulcan fire piston by Going Gear. Okay, I'm going to try to start create embers all at once with all of them. So I'm just going to go over the features that I like. But those are the features. The fact that you can clean this one out easily. Also the fact that you can store it as one piece, and it's got a little storage compartment, and the knurling. It's also very cool looking. So that's one. That's the Nemeth fire piston. I'm going to have to pause because I've got a Snoopy cat that is going to try to get into the video, and I'm going to have to take him outside. Okay, the next one is one made by Wilderness Solutions. It's a second generation fire piston. It can be stored as one piece. This one has a relief valve at the bottom but it does not. It's not a through barrel, like, so you can't just run a rod through it. When you take this part off, you just have a little tiny hole. Okay, so that doesn't help with cleaning, but it does allow you to store it as one piece and keep it like that. Okay, this one is nice. I think it's cool because you can actually see the flame a lot of times when you force this down. This just has, the end is bored out slightly so that you can put your char cloth in there like that. So once again, just to close it, open this valve, push it down, close the valve, and then you're all set. Okay, that's Wilderness Solutions 2nd generation fire piston. Very comfortable too. Okay, and the third one, this one came in a little bag like this. Is a, hope I pronounce this right. It's Eucno. That's EUCNO. It's model X1B streamlined fire piston, and this one, as you can see, cannot be stored. So it does not have any way of. There's the other part. It doesn't have any way of putting them together. Okay. Some of them you'll see, if they're if it's just a rod, they'll put this in backwards, and that stores them together. This one is just strictly a tube with a plunger. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load these up and get an ember with them and show you how easy they are one at a time. Because we're gonna, since I have this one out, we'll start with this one. This is the model X1B streamlined fire piston by Eucno, EUCNO. Okay, now you want to put a little bit of lubricant. What I have done too is I've used these little lip balm containers. This one was empty, so I filled it with silicone grease. And the other ones I just put, let's see if I can find one. This is Carmex. It's still has lip balm in it, so I'm using lip balm for this, for the other one, for the grease, so it doesn't really matter for lubricant. You just want something that won't attack the O-ring. Okay, so put a little bit of grease on there. Then you want to make sure your hand's clean and dry, and you take a small piece of char cloth and then just kind of fold it up and then put it in the end, and you want to try to have it so that it's not sticking out and interfering with the O-ring. Okay, that's very important. Okay, that's it like this. I have a piece of wood here. Let me show you. My setup right there is I've got a block of wood, because I don't want to do this on the kitchen table. So therefore, this would work best if you do it on a stump or a fallen log, because you don't want to ram your hand onto that one. It'll kill you. It's this surface right here is bad enough if you have to do it multiple times. One tip is you might want to put your leather gloves on that you carry with you. Okay, so I'm going to insert this. You just insert it so just the O-ring is in there, because you want the maximum amount of air inside there. And then you strike it pretty violently, and hopefully it won't knock my camera over. And there's the coal. As you can see it glowing. That's all you have to do. And then the trick is, if you want to start a fire, take this small coal and touch it to your bigger piece, and then you put that in a bird's nest, or you can put this in the bird's nest and then just drop this piece into that. Because it's easy for that to finally burn out. It doesn't take very long, and so this just kind of a tip. You don't want to be blowing on it and have the ember burn out before anything happens. So I always just take this tiny ember, put it into another piece of char cloth that's a lot bigger. And what I found, the problem, there's certain problems with closed end ones, and that's if your piece of char cloth stays inside here, like it doesn't ignite the first time you hit it, and it falls off and goes in there, you can't get it out. What I came up with is just using a piece of stranded wire. I think this is like probably 18 gauge stranded wire, and I just took some of the insulation off, so you've got just a tiny amount of copper sticking in there. And if you got a piece of cloth in there, you just run that in there just like you would if you got a patch stuck in your muzzle loader, and just kind of spin it around and pull it out, and it'll catch onto it and pull it and clip it out, because you got to keep that out of there. Then you can clean it by just wadding up a paper towel and running it down there. So that's that one. That one is very easy to work with. I gave one of these to my wife Kathy because this was the one that she was able to do first time. And this one comes with a bag of char cloth also, and a little bag with some grease. I added extra grease to it. I think this one actually came with Crisco or something. It was because it said you could use shortening, and it seemed like that's what that was there. So that's that one. The next one we're going to try is the Wilderness Solutions 2nd generation fire piston. And so that one, same thing. Take a small piece of char cloth. See, it's not very much at all. Fold it up. And fold it into a small little ball. And then just stuff it right in there. Okay. And this one, the way it's designed, it's got that kind of a delicate valve on there. It's not designed to be hammered on. So what you could do is you could plunge down on it like this, or I'll see if I can just do it in my arms, just up like this. Okay, that's what I was talking about. The char cloth fell out. It didn't go in but now I shook it down in there. It got trapped in there. So if you take your little cleaning rod that you can make with a piece of this has to be stranded wire, you can just run that in there and it'll catch it and pull it out. Well, that's the idea. It's making a liar out of me, but there, came out. Okay. So we'll try that again. I'm just going to use the pressing down technique. That seems to be the easiest. I have started before by just shoving it, but it takes a lot more strength than you think it's going to, so it's better just to do it this other way, I think. Okay, so I'll try to put this back here and aim it down a little bit down more. Okay, ready? I'm going to try it now. Well, it came off inside there again. So I'll deal with that in a few minutes. That's another con of. That's another reason why so far the Nemeth Vulcan is getting my top vote, because of issues like that. The way that cut is on the other one, it's not going to ever happen. So I'm going to just start all over again. Put a little grease on there. Now, the other thing I just want to let you know, it's kind of looking like this is more trouble than it's worth. It's a lot. Once you practice with one and you get it down, it's not that big a deal. I haven't practiced a whole lot with these. And I got several because I didn't know what design I wanted, and when I did this, I thought I would get several different types, and then I could do a video and show people so they would have a better idea of what they wanted. And I think that was my user error. I think that valve was open at the bottom of that one. So I'm going to try it again. There, we got an ember. That's what was wrong. The valve was open, so that was not a fault of this. It was just user error. Okay, so that was pretty easy there. I'm going to try it one more time, doing it just with my arms, because that's how I've done it before, and I want to see if it's just as easy to do it that way. The trick of these is you want to do it fast. Fast, and pull it out quickly, because if you don't, there's no oxygen left in here once it ignites, and so it'll make it go out. Okay, so here we go. Didn't work that time. Still didn't work. Try it again. No. There. Alright, I hope this helps. The nice features about this one is I think it's kind of attractive. You can also see inside it, so you can clean it. The fact that you can look down and see through it helps you know that you've that you've got it all cleaned out. And it's got the valve so that you can store it closed up. So I would say this one gets a definite thumbs up. That is the Wilderness Solutions 2nd generation fire piston. I found that on eBay. And they also have a couple of videos on how to use it, so if you want a little better demo than I had, they're professional at doing it, so you can watch that. That's that one. The one I think I like personally the best is the Nemeth Vulcan fire piston. I like the fact I can clean it completely out and take it apart more. The fact you can take it apart more means there's more moving parts that can disappear on you, but I don't think that would ever be an issue. Very compact. That's the container of grease it comes with. I added, once again, I told you, I added grease to that. It just has a tiny little dab in the bottom, because it doesn't take much grease. In fact, you can put too much grease on it and it makes it not work right. But anyway, I hope that helped. The other one is the Econo model X1B streamline fire piston. This actually is the cheapest one. I got this on sale for I think it was $18 or something. But this one is very easy to use because it's got a giant knob on it. So this one takes quite a bit of strength. This one, because of the big knob on it, like my wife did it the first time, you can just slap down on it with a lot more force. So this is also a good choice. Hope that helped. I hope that helped a little bit. if you have any questions at all, just go ahead and PM me, or you can make a comment, and I will do my best to answer it. If I don't know, I'll let you know that I don't know and try to steer you in the correct place. I'm definitely not an expert at this. I've just, with my engineering and automotive background, to me, the coolness factor alone makes these neat. That you can, it's the same principle as in the diesel engine. In fact, people think that Diesel got his inspiration for that from the fire piston. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what people have said. But anyway, I think they're a great asset to your kit. I mean, it's the same kind of thing with a bow drill. When I'm out, I'm not typically going to start a fire with a bow drill unless I'm doing it for fun. And so it's just kind of one extra thing. If you've got a little bit of char cloth, or also you can use punk wood and tinder fungus in these. Both of those other things are harder to start than char cloth, so you have to keep that in mind. But I always have a little bit of char cloth with me, and this doesn't take up hardly any space at all. Of course, neither does a ferro rod. So this is still considered a primitive method, because anything that gets an ember that you have to blow into flame is a primitive method. But anyway, hope that helps. God bless. And if you have any questions at all, make sure you let me know.